Let's learn something really quick.
If you got the time, absolutely. And you got the discipline, there's no question about it.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great practice to put into your everyday life, you guys.
You generally regret the things you don't do, not the things you did do. Let me say it that way.
Mic drop. This was just awesome. I love meeting my guests in person, and it's a whole nother animal, and the energy is just electric. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, bringing incredible guests from all over the world, so sit back, relax, and tune in. This is a familiar face. We're welcoming back our resident relationship wizard, Fred Talisman. Today, we'll be breaking down how to revitalize and save your relationship even without your partner's cooperation. For those of you that have children or are unhappy and considering a breakup, this will be about how to also fix your relationship and keep your family together. I have with us today, as I just mentioned, Fred, Label Free's resident relationship wizard. Fred is one of the top marriage counselors and top relationship coaches in the world. In over 25 years, he's been in practice. He's helped thousands of his clients who are on the verge of losing their relationship to stop their breakup, even if they feared it was beyond saving. And even if they were the only one who wanted to save it. He is pro-marriage, pro-relationship, and pro-family. If he's your last hope, you owe it to yourself and your family to hear or watch this full episode and then reach out and get his help. Here's what we're going to cover today. We'll talk about how it's realistically possible to fix and save your relationship even without your partner's cooperation. We'll talk about the single biggest cause of relationship ending and how you can avoid what's happening to you. We'll talk about the risks to your relationship of getting couples counseling or coaching and how to make sure that you don't wind up getting help from someone that without meaning to pushes your relationship over the edge and ends your relationship. We'll talk about the most important thing you can do to start the healing process in your relationship and how to do it and so much more. Fred, please tell us something that you believe makes a relationship work for both people that most people and most marriage counselors might disagree with.
What I used to believe and what I used to do when I was a client in therapy is when you're upset, you should get things done off your chest because that'll make you feel better. And whether or not it makes you feel better, I came to realize, especially after my first wife left me, that didn't work. And usually getting things off your chest when you're upset makes things worse with and for the other person. So I teach clients to try to never communicate when they're upset. Because when you're upset, you communicate, people don't really hear your words or your message or your point. They react to the emotion. And they react by either withdrawing, attacking, or defending. None of which gets you what you want.
Well, then what does work?
What works is to only communicate when you're in positive emotion. When both of you are.
What do you do with all those feelings that are either eating you up inside or bursting to come out?
Well, you do the skill I've taught in another episode called Train of Thought Writing, which is writing through your eyes only. It's not journaling. And you're writing with the intention of letting go to get back in a better place.
You've also talked about many marriage counselors and relationship coaches by accident being relationship enders. And you've talked about the ending of your first marriage being your turning point of learning what it takes to be a relationship saver, both in your marriage and as a marriage counselor and relationship coach. Please tell us more about that.
Well, what I was trained to do as a traditional marriage counselor, that I didn't really reevaluate until after my first marriage ended, was you work with the couple, get them to talk about all the things that upset them to their partner and all the things their partner did wrong. And what usually winds up happening is people leave that session feeling worse and more upset at each other than they did before they even started the session. So what I do that's really different than that is that I do almost the opposite. That I try to get them first reconnect the love that brought them together in the first place. And then I help them to give them the tools to stop the fighting, the arguing, and to be able to communicate in a kind and loving, supportive way. Give them ways to create agreements that work for both of them.
What do you do differently as a relationship saving coach?
So the other thing that I do besides that is that that most people believe that in marriage you must make compromise and sacrifices. And making compromises and sacrifices works when you're raising children or caring for pets. It doesn't work in a marriage. Because often what happens is that when people feel like they're making sacrifices for their partner, they wind up holding them accountable to debts and agreements that were never made. They wind up feeling resentful. And resentment is a relationship killer. And most people use the word compromise as just a synonym for sacrifice. What I teach couples how to do and individuals how to do is to create mutually satisfying agreements. In other words, I teach them a process to cooperatively come up with alternatives and options and agreements that work equally well for both people. And as they master those skills, this one was always realistically possible.
So what's the warning?
I encourage people that whose relationship is in difficulty or crisis to work with me individually. And some people really want to work with me as a couple, which I'm willing to do. But the warning I give them is that I give them the contrast. I say, when you work with me individually, it's a safe environment. And whatever you say to me is confidential. And even with your permission, I'm not going to bring it up to the other person. Just won't do that. I won't break confidentiality. In contrast to that, in a couple session, whatever you say and how you say it in that session or sessions can and will be used against you by your partner. They're not going to have amnesia for what you say and how you say it. Most people have their worst behavior in a couples counseling session. They have this illusion that they can just, it's a safe environment to say whatever they want to say, however they want to say it, and somehow magically the partner will completely forget what they said and how they said it the moment the session is over. Just not true.
Now, Fred, most of us believe it takes two people to make a relationship work. How in the world have you fixed and saved so many relationships where only one person was willing to get your help?
Let me give you an example, because I want to tell you about Georgette. And I want to tell you what Georgette had to say in her words, because for me, it was really profound, really touched me. She said, I've seen so many married and unmarried couples, friends and couples that just have emotionally left their relationship. The things weren't bad enough to leave physically, but they emotionally left. And that was happening to me, that I realized that I had emotionally left my relationship. The patterns that we were communicating weren't changing. I didn't know how to change them. I tried everything I could think of. I tried talking to my husband, and nothing I did or said worked with him. I felt like I was out of options. I'd asked first to get help, and he said no again and again. I was starting to turn to a different person. I didn't like the person I was becoming with him or with my kids. My turning point was when I decided to get Fred's help. As I started applying the skills he taught me, our communication got better. I sometimes still have a resentment for all the years of how he spoke to me and treated me, but I'm letting go of that. And the more I let go, the better I feel, and the more consistent he is, the more I'm able to let go. I'm grateful that I didn't let go. I didn't leave the relationship and see any alternatives because I couldn't live that way. And I know my kids could have survived the divorce. And one time, I did something I shouldn't have done. I let it slip to my grown daughter that I might divorce her dad. And she said, the last time we were together, it never occurred to me that this would be the last time we're together as a family. And that got me in my heart. There's so much wonderful about our family, and I hated to break it up. So using what you taught me, Fred, my walls are starting to come down, and I'm starting to feel safe again. You give me the confidence and skill to help me to feel that I can do this. My husband's worked really hard, being kind, supportive, respectful, the way you taught me to teach him how to do that. I couldn't take him coming home like a controlling, critical, complaining tyrant any longer. Because he taught me how to be more empowered, to make our marriage work better, I'm able to start focusing on things I stopped doing for myself a long time ago, like exercising, eating right. I feel like I was reborn. So I'm definitely in a better place. I look forward to my future with my husband and to all our family visits and all our family get-togethers. With Georgette, as with so many other people, what I found is when people go to couples counseling, that often they come in no matter what I tell them in advance and during the session, they come in to make their case, to have a forum to be heard, and to use their relationship coach as the referee. When people come individually, I'm more able to get them on board to take radical responsibility, to do their part to make things better, and then give them the skills, they'll take that back to their marriage or their relationship if they're not married.
You've helped so many to fix their relationship, and some of them have been listeners or watchers of the show. Because you are our resident relationship wizard, we get to share the opportunity with all of you that Fred has for people that want to revitalize a relationship. I hope that all that are listening or watching this episode are getting excited that it really is possible to revitalize and fix your relationship with or without your partner's involvement. So, Fred, tell us the biggest cause of relationship ending.
I think the biggest cause of a relationship ending is a couple of causes. One of them is people are determined that they think they should only get help for the relationship if their partner is willing to do it with them. And either the partner flat out says no, or they keep putting it off until the person that wanted to get help just gives up and they wind up breaking up. So that's, for me, probably the biggest cause of relationship ending. The other biggest cause is that mindset that you can't fix a relationship with one person. It takes two people to fix a relationship. It's not true. I mean, I thought that. I was trained, that you can only help a couple relationship working with a couple. And really, it was clients that turned me around. It's people who called me and said, I need help for my relationship and my partner won't get help. Can you help me? And I really didn't want to turn them away. I didn't really know if I could at first. Now I know I can. At the beginning, I didn't know that. And then when I started doing this, giving the skills, I would have taught both of them and teaching them how to, it's very specific to their partner, how to take those skills and bring it back to their relationship and teach their partner how to do it. And really the majority of relationships I've helped revitalize and to save, I've really done it with one person because it's my only option. The other person wouldn't be part of the process.
Well, that's both inspiring and hopeful. You said in another episode that the hardest thing for you to fix is to help someone save their relationship after there's been cheating. Can you tell us about someone that you helped to save their relationship after the partner caught them cheating?
Sure. Let me tell you about Dennis. Let me tell you in Dennis's words. What Dennis said was, by the time I found Fred, Cindy was ready to break up with me because of my cheating. And I was devastated. She's the person I love more than anybody else. She's my soulmate. She felt that she could never trust me again, that she could never forgive me. And before I found Fred, I had tried other things, spoken to other people. Not only were their methods ineffective, some actually made things worse with her. And I saw couples counseling with Fred as my last resort, but she wouldn't get help. She said, you caused the problem, you fix it, which is really common after there's been cheating for somebody to say that and to feel that way. I was referred by a friend across the country and where Fred was, and I didn't know he could help me by phone, but that was my only option. And he did. So I worked with him by phone. That's more valuable than any help that I got in person. And thanks to Fred and what he taught me, that Cindy gave me a last chance. Fred gave me hope beyond hope. I saw the first improvements with her almost immediately after the first session. Cindy and I got married about a year after the crisis that Fred got us through. Using the things that Fred taught me, my wife and I are now stronger than ever as a couple. Our relationship gets better every day.
I'm sure that some of our audience are wondering if you can help them with their relationship problems. Would you give us an idea of other kinds of problems you've successfully helped them with?
Sure, I help when there's lying, broken trust, when people feel disrespected, not heard or understood, that with their partner they're walking in eggshells, feel like their partner, isn't present once they're home from work, when drug abuse or alcohol abuse is adversely affecting the relationship. Really, almost any problem that people are facing in a relationship, that I have the skills to help them to resolve. Unless the partner's mentally ill.
It also says here, jealousy, lack of affection, intimacy, infrequent or no sex.
Yes, definitely those things too.
When do people normally reach out to get your help?
Well, they normally reach out when they feel like they're in crisis. Either they're ready to break up or their partner says that they want to break up. You know, many people call me saying, gee, I should have called you sooner. I think it's too late to get help. And it's really not. If it was too late, I wouldn't be able to help them to save the relationship.
So before someone walks out the door.
Right. Well, actually, I've helped people save the relationship after somebody's walked out the door. I've helped people when they were already separated. I've actually reconciled the relationships where they've already been legally divorced.
Oh, wow. Okay. So listeners and viewers, listen to these next few words. Fred, what do they need to do to take that next step with you?
Well, it's really simple. You need to have a chat. So you can either call me directly on my cell, which is 310-429-3658. Or if you're driving, you can't take that down. It should be in the listener notes. And you can go to my website, saveyourrelationship.com. My number's right there. And also read about a lot of the other people I've helped to be able to revitalize and save the relationship, with or without their partner's cooperation.
And so what happens in that conversation?
So basically, I want to find out where things are for you, because really we're kind of checking each other out. You want to see if I can help you. I want to see if I can help you. So I want to hear what your current situation is. And then I'm going to tell you if I think I can help you, which almost always I can, but not 100% of the time. And if I don't think I can help you, I'll probably give you a referral to somebody else I think could help you. So I don't want to leave you with nothing. And if I think I can help you, I want to hear your vision for where you want your relationship to be. I'm going to give you an idea of what I'll be teaching you to be able to make your relationship work.
What's the one common denominator that each of those thousands of clients had that you helped?
Well, every single person I ever helped had one common denominator, and that is they had that first conversation with me.
Okay, the way to get that conversation scheduled with Fred is to go to
saveyourrelationship.com, or you can just call or text me directly, 310-429-3658.
Excellent. Okay, you guys, if you're fired up to take that call to action that Fred shared, have that conversation with him to see if this is the right fit for you. Take that next step to find out. Those CTAs will be in the show notes, the phone number, the website, and all of those things. Is there any last words you'd like to leave with us, Fred?
Yeah, I want to tell you that it really is possible to save your relationship. And I'm happy to help you, to show you how to do that.
Percentage-wise, when you've worked with people, what is the percentage that you've actually been able to help save those relationships?
It's a great question. Because people ask me that question, and they say, really, it's kind of a black and white answer. People that do what I teach them and do it consistently follow through, really great track record of saving their relationship. The people that don't follow through, don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people really think that if they just show up for a relationship session or a coaching session, that's enough. It's not enough. You got to do the work. I've done this long enough. I know what to teach you to make it work. And I'm going to teach you how to be able to be consistent in following through.
I think that's pretty standard for anything you do in life, right? You got to show up and do the work.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Fred. Well, thank you so much again for sharing your stories and all of your wisdom with us. You guys, if you are struggling in your relationship, we've shared some really great insight with you today. Don't hesitate to click that link, give him a call, or, check out the testimonials on his website, saveyourrelationship.com. And Fred would love to hear from you. And there's a free session there, so book a call. There's nothing to harm in booking a call and seeing where it will go. Until next time, you guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free.
If you are struggling in your relationship or facing a breakup, Fred Talisman can help you. Fred is one of the top marriage counselors and top relationship coaches in the world. For over 25 years, he's helped thousands of his clients who are on the verge of losing their relationship to stop their breakup, even if they feared it was beyond saving, and even if they were the only one who wants to save it. Whatever you're facing in your relationship, he can help you to fix, including infidelity, broken trust, fighting and arguing, not feeling heard and understood, lack of communication and lack of respect, verbal abuse, feeling like you're walking on eggshells, and feeling judged and criticized. Can Fred help you save your relationship and help you to keep your family together? Probably. The best way to know if he can help you is for you to have a no-cost conversation with him. Call or text Fred now to spend some time talking to him. Once he hears about your situation, he can tell you how he can help you. You can call or text him now at 3104-293658 or email him at fred@saveyourrelationship.com. Everyone that Fred helped to repair their relationship had one thing in common. They each had that first conversation with him. To check out his success stories, go to saveyourrelationship.com.